இப்போ நம்ம இந்தியன் எக்கனாமிலேருந்து ஒரு 50 குவிஸ் தான் பார்க்க போகிறோம். ஸோ இது வந்து செகண்ட் டாபிக் இருந்து வரும். ஸோ நம்ம என்ன பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னா, எப்போவுமே கண்டென்ட் படிக்கணும். ரிவைஸ் வந்து மோஸ்ட்லி MCQஸாக பண்ணணும். ஏன் அப்படின்னா நம்ம வந்து ஸ்கூலில் படிக்கிற மாதிரி 5 மார்க் 10 மார்க்காக எழுத போகிறதில்ல. நம்ம எழுதுகிற எல்லாமே MCQs தான். ஸோ ரிவைஸ் பண்ணுறப்பையும் அதே மாதிரி பண்ணால் எக்ஸாமில் ஈஸியாக இருக்கும். கடன்னு பண்ணலாமா? அக்கார்டிங் டு பென்ஹாம், a market is defined by anywhere where buyers and sellers are close in touch. So option B. Which of the following is classified as a local market? Vegetables and flower markets. Markets for commodities like steel, cotton and tea are example of international market. In a short period market, which factor plays a more important role in price determination? Demand. In a long period market, which factors plays a dominant role? Supply. So சின்ன மார்க்கெட் அப்படின்னா டிமாண்ட், பெரிய மார்க்கெட் அப்படின்னா சப்ளை. அதாவது டேர்ம் பேசிஸில் லாங் டேர்மாக ஒரு மார்க்கெட் இருக்க போதுன்னா அதில் சப்ளை முக்கியம், ஷார்ட் டேர்மாக ஒரு மார்க்கெட் இருக்க போதுன்னா அதில் டிமாண்ட் முக்கியம். Markets are broadly classified based on competition into perfect and imperfect markets. A market for things other than commodities, such as market for an actor, refers to labor market. Which of the following is not a criteria for classifying market according to the text? Language of a trader. National markets are generally associated with commodities like sarees. The concept that price in one part of a market can affect the other part is a characteristic of a functioning market area. Option B. What is the first step in a formulation of an economic plan? Determination of objectives. Economic planning is a process of conscious and deliberate collective choices. Which of the following is a key feature of economic planning? Predetermined goals and objectives. In a planned economy, the central planning authority is responsible for coordination and decision making. The formulation of a plan happens after detailed objectives are set. Which factor is described as the backbone of an Indian economic system? Agriculture. Historically, which has the major source of livelihood in an Indian economy? Agriculture. In 1950-51, the share of agricultural and allied activities in Indian national income was more than 40%. By the year 2002 to 2003, the contribution of agriculture to Indian income stood at about 25%. According to the text, how many of every 10 person in India depends upon agriculture for livelihood? 6. Between 1921 and 2001, the size of a labor force dependent on agriculture has more than doubled. Which of the following is an evil or problem plaguing in the agricultural sector according to the text? Distinguished unemployment. In industrially advanced countries like UK and US, the number of people dependent on agriculture is very low compared to India. Disguised unemployment in agriculture refers to more people working than they are actually required. The industrial origin distribution of national income includes option B, agricultural commodities, animal husbandry and ancillary activities. Low productivity in the Indian agricultural sector is often linked to underemployment and disguised unemployment. The term ancillary activities in the content of agriculture will include activities related to secondary agriculture. Why is India is called a primarily an agricultural country? Because agriculture is the main source of livelihood. The fortunes of our economy in India still depends on the courses of agricultural production. In the 1950s, agricultural contribution on national output was approximately once again 50%. Perfect and imperfect markets are classified based on nature of competition. The foreign exchange market is a market for different national currencies. A market classified by space includes local, national, and international. Which of the following is not an example of international market commodity? Fresh local flowers. Economic planning involves the allocation of scarce resources to specific goals. A plan is considered formulated when it is drafted after detailed analysis. எப்போவுமே ஒரு பிளானுக்கு ஃபார்முலா போடணும்னா முதல்ல டீட்டெயிலாக அனாலிசிஸ் பண்ணணும். A proportion of our national income from agriculture showed a dash trend from 1950 to 2003. கொஞ்சம் falling தான். Agriculture provides dash to the industries, raw materials. In the 80s and 90s, the proportion of agricultural share in Indian income மறுபடியும் விழுந்தது, fell further. Underemployment is a state where, so underemploymentனா என்ன? People working less than capacity. நம்மளோட கெப்பாசிட்டியை விட கம்மியாக ஒர்க் பண்ணுறது. The definition of a market by Benham emphasizes the touch between buyer and seller. The touch can be, so இது என்னவா இருக்கலாம்? Direct or indirect dealers. டைரக்டாகவும் இருக்கலாம், இல்லை டீலர்ஸ் வழியாகவும் இருக்கலாம். For an economist, a market exists for anything that has a, எதுக்கெல்லாம் காசு இருக்கோ அதெல்லாம் மார்க்கெட். Which sectors low productivity is highlighted as a concern for Indian labor force? Agriculture. A short period versus a long period is classified based on time. National income distribution by industrial origin is used to measure contribution of different sectors into the economy. Which of the following countries is cited as industrially advanced in the text? UK. The market for saree is generally considered as a national market. In economic planning, the central authority ensures coordination of different activities. The dependency on agriculture for 60% of our population indicates agrarian nature of our economy. Economic planning is characterized by deliberate collective choices, meaning it is intentional and organized. ஸோ அவ்வளோதான் guys. ஒரு 9 நிமிஷம் ஆயிருக்கு. இதில் நீங்கள் வந்து ஒரு 50 கொஷின்ஸை ரிவைஸ் பண்ணிட்டீங்க. ஸோ இப்போது இது படிச்சிருந்தீங்கன்னா இந்த 50 கொஷின் உள்ள கண்டென்ட்டை நீங்கள் ரிவைஸ் பண்ணுறதுக்கு 1 hour இல்லை 2 hours ஆகிடும். ஸோ அதனால சொல்கிறேன், எப்போவுமே ரிவைஸ் வந்து MCQs பண்ணுங்க. ஓகேவா? பாய்.